Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Scorpio for the week of July 18th. Now Scorpio, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go ahead and get a shuffle in here for you, Scorpio. Now I am using the Tarot Muka as well as the Higher Self deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. I also ask that you hit the like button and subscribe, as it is still the case that less than 50% of the people who watch my content have actually subscribed, and so please do consider doing that if you do watch my videos regularly. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up and in view. Okay. Go ahead and put this up here. And then I'll also take 3 of these Higher Self cards, clarify as we go along. All right. Scorpio. So, Judgment Day. Judgment Day for Scorpio. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, some of you may be coming into a period of radical self-evaluation at this period of time around collaborative efforts, around the nature of your work, the skills that you maybe have or need to pick up in work. There also may be a very big question about where you're going from here, either in life or in work. And this feels like a bigger type of reading. There's been in the past, there's been something that has been a bit of a surprise. And I'm going to talk about this more as we go along, because you have a very interesting combination here showing up in the past. So let's just dive right in here. So in the overall situation, you do have the Judgment card. So you can see that there's this like angel here. And just separate, like in tarot, well, when I read tarot, it doesn't matter if you're religious or you're not religious. Angels are a frequency. And so this is like a guardian angel or a guide, a spirit guide, God, whatever you kind of attach meaning to, coming down and delivering a judgment on these people. Now, these people are waiting to hear the results of their karma. Karma is simply the accumulation of our actions. So they are really realizing, they're asking themselves, okay, have I taken the appropriate steps? Have I taken the appropriate actions up to this point? Because at this stage in the journey, in the hero's journey, this is 20 of 21. Okay, this is like passing the final test, right? Like, am I going to get to the castle? Am I going to get to the world? And along with that, it's one of those situations, and we've all had this in life, where sometimes, the only thing that we can do is evaluate where we are right now. And other people's situations, other people's energies are simply not involved here. And so it's one of these things where it can be a very spiritual experience. The Judgment card can bring about a spiritual experience because of this deep sort of journey of self-evaluation and self-realization that comes along with the Judgment card. And what's interesting here is in the past, you have the 7 of Swords with the High Priestess. So this is an extremely interesting combination that I do not see often. And here's why. So the 7 of Swords can indicate deception, and the deception, and I think in this case it's probably self-deception, although you do have a colleague card, you do have other people involved here. So we'll have to see how this unfolds more in the reading, but it can mean backstabbing. The thing is, what's so interesting is you have it with the High Priestess, which is about your intuition. Essentially, you've seen the writing on the wall here, and I wonder if some of you have chosen to ignore it, or in the past you ignored it. You knew that this was going to happen. You knew these swords were going to be stolen because of the deep connection to your intuition here, Scorpio, showing up in the High Priestess. The High Priestess is like It is the most intuitive card. It is what you know. You can see that this person's also like holding a book and they're sitting in front of a spiritual temple. This indicates knowledge, wisdom from the universe, wisdom from source, wisdom that you can't necessarily find in academic textbooks, right? And so it's almost like for some of you, this could be something that you've ignored internally here. And even though your intuition was like nudging you the whole time, you've ignored this. And this Seven of Swords could be about self-deception. For others of you, this could be around somebody deceiving you. And you saw the writing on the wall. Like you knew that this person, you had a weird energy about this person. And now you're kind of dealing with this judgment energy, which is, you know, what action did you take to work through this? I don't think it's bad because of what we see here coming up and in the future, but also do understand that we always go through, if this is the first time you're watching me, we always go through and clarify with more cards. So in the future, you have the Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands here. So Three of Pentacles is a card of colleagues. The thing is, with the Seven of Swords, and especially something like the Three of Pentacles, I see this come in so many times when people are gossiping or starting rumors, stirring the pot, as it were. Everybody's worked with somebody like that, right? If you've spent time in offices or office environments or anything like that, people like to stir the pot. And it's possible that some of you have known this about somebody. And I definitely don't feel like I'm getting a negative energy from this. The thing is, the truth will come to light, as you can kind of see with the Judgment card. And so maybe even if this situation, if you were kind of surprised that this happened, the thing is, at the end of the day, as long as you're not the one who is sort of, engaging in gossip and spreading rumors and everything, it's like everything will work out eventually in time. Now, does that make where you are now easy to deal with? No. Where you are now may be a little bit challenging, but you're also realizing you're taking this as a lesson here with the Judgment card that will help you really kind of surmount the journey of, in this case, of the major arcana, which is getting to the world. You'll in real world terms, what this means is you are learning this lesson, and that will help you complete something very important in your life. You have the Knight of Wands as well, which says that you are skilled. In fact, you have these two cards of talent or skill or craftsmanship or artistry here showing up in the future. You're a Swiss Army knife, you're a jack of all trades. You have a lot to offer, right? You have a lot to offer. And I think that this is also coming through in this sort of, we'll call it judgment, that you're kind of accepting right now. So let's see what else we have. Maybe somebody's actually quite literally judging you. Let's see what else we have here. You have the Two of Wands. You have the King of Swords. You have the King of Cups. And you have the Two of Swords. So yeah, there's something about communication here that feels off. Okay, feels off. You feel like maybe somebody, maybe there was a gaslighter that you were dealing with. Because the thing is, I bring that up. I don't always bring that up in my readings. I really need confirmation. The thing is, the Two of Swords is like you feeling restricted in speech, not knowing what to say, somebody denying you your reality, and you have this here with the Seven of Swords, which is deception, lying, cheating, stealing, backstabbing, as well as this High Priestess, which is secrets. High Priestess can talk about secrets or something being withheld from you. There's something that was withheld here, and this is maybe showing up as like a blockage in your throat chakra, or in other words, your ability to sort of communicate and express yourself freely because of some, I try not to swear here on YouTube, but some shady information or some sort of shady situation that you've been dealing with another person. Yeah, I know, not the greatest message, but it is definitely coming forward here for some of you. Again, truth will prevail here for sure. Truth will absolutely prevail, because not only do you have this Judgment card, but you also have the King of Swords. King of Swords is like the kind of the divine scales. It's like truth. It's divine law and order. It is classic Libra energy, right? And it is the energy of, connecting with kind of fairness, and connecting with what is right for the good of all type of energy. You have the King of Cups as well. Somebody maybe who has been a little bit emotionally manipulative here. You are dealing with another person. I actually don't feel like there are some of you that maybe have self-deceived, have done a little bit of self-deception here, but I think for now that and this is why we clarify, now that I've seen the additional cards, I do feel like maybe some of you have been dealing with somebody who's a little bit emotionally manipulative. I do think some of you are dealing with other people here with the Three of Pentacles and the Double King showing up, but err on the side of truth here at this time. You also have the Two of Wands, which is, by the way, not always the easiest thing. You do have the Two of Wands as well, which is really needing to decide. It's like you've had this event that's unfolded here in the past, and now you kind of need to decide where you want to take yourself as well. And so let's go ahead and take a look at these oracle cards here. Wow. So you have Resonance. I use the creative power of my personal vibration. Speak it into being. There's something about speech here. There's absolutely something about speech here. You have Awareness. I choose my thoughts and where I send my energy. Energy follows awareness. And then you have Joy. I serve best from a joyful heart. Open yourself up to joy and pleasure. Let your hair down. Have fun. Be playful. Light your way back home. Allow the things that light up your soul. Okay, I really like that for you. There's absolutely something here about the energy that you're putting out into the world, hopefully improving and recognizing that it's okay for you to express yourself. I also think maybe positive self-talk is extremely important at this time, as you have this speak it into being energy, but also because we see the restriction of speech here as well showing up with the Two of Swords. I think positive self-talk is extremely important in this case. It always is, but I think it's being highlighted here. You have the Four of Swords. You have the Hermit card. And you have the Lovers. There's an important choice that you have to make. Do you stay? Do you go? Because you have this Two of Wands, which is, which wand do I choose? Which path do I go down? There are probably two paths, maybe even more paths in front of you, and it's like, for some of you, it's almost maybe the reason you're making this choice is because you want to get out of a less than great environment in work. For some of you, it might be something else. It might be a choice in love that you have to make with the Lovers card, but the Lovers represents an important choice. If it's not always about like romantic love, in tarot, it can also be about other things, and it can just be about choices and decisions. But again, it's a big one. Okay, it's a big one. You can kind of think about it like you can think about it in this way. It's like with the Lovers, you may be like, okay, is this my life partner, right? Like, am I going to be spending my whole life with this person? But you can attach that to other things. Like, okay, if I go down this job route, how long am I going to be there? Am I going to devote myself to this place, or am I going to devote myself to this project if you're an entrepreneur, right? It's like a bigger choice, especially with the Judgment card. There's a heaviness with the Judgment card. It's not a bad card at all, but there's a heaviness because you're so close to completing something. With the Four of Swords, it's like rest and, take time for self-care as well, so that you can increase your vibration here. There's something about your personal resonance or your personal vibration here. And being aware with this Seven of Swords. And I think that this is something that you're learning. I think that there was something in the past year that you felt, you saw the writing on the wall, but it was like, for whatever reason, you may have prevented yourself from trusting the feeling that you had. Hermit card says that you, in this situation that you find yourself, you are creating mastery. You are learning something important. You have the Nine of Swords, and you have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so Ace of Wands is really one of my favorite cards in the future here. Ace of Wands talks about like this spark of life, this initial energy, this kind of starting energy, this beginning energy. It's you can use it to create something amazing. You also have the Nine of Swords, which is stress, right? There's a situation in the past that has kind of stressed you out, or that you've been in some fearful situations here. And I think, again, it's because of somebody else. It may quite literally be you needing to have a tough or a challenging conversation with somebody, and that may be where the fear is coming from or stemming from here. And again, the thing is, this is in the past. I do feel like the future looks extremely bright for you here, as you have most cards here are positive. It's like the one thing that I'm like looking at is this letting go of somebody else's maybe negatively emotion over. How do I say this? There's a negative person here in showing up in the future with the King of Cups. They're probably already in. You probably already know this person with the King of Cups and the Two of Swords. And what I would say is, like, I think some of you are maybe are working through this person's tendency to restrict your speech, is what I feel like saying. Otherwise, the future looks good for you. At the top of the pyramid here, you do have the Five of Cups. This person in this situation has been disappointing here. And I think that you're just trying to figure out how to handle this appropriately. On the bottom of the deck, you do have the Knight of Pentacles, which I like to see for you because that says that you will get the result that you truly deserve after having worked very hard on something here. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.